Welcome everyone and happy International Day of Education. So if you're a teacher, a professor, somebody that works within the education sector, a huge acknowledgement and congratulations to you for the wonderful work that you are doing to educate people around the globe. And equally, I don't believe that this is just about acknowledging and respecting those with a title or a position, but to also recognize and acknowledge those around us that teach us on a daily basis. If you're tuned in, please say hi. Let's acknowledge who teaches you, who do you learn from on a daily basis, and who are you teaching? Education is a fundamental part of our lives, and we need to accept and acknowledge that in every area of our lives, with every individual that teaches us. So it doesn't always have to be acknowledging the formal education route. Adele, I can see you're tuned in. Great to see you here. Thank you so much for being here. It's wonderful to see you. And since it's International Day of Education, we thought this was a great opportunity as a coaching school to talk more about what we do on our mission to make coaching affordable and accessible across the globe. We do a lot of content on coaching. We talk about coaching, we teach coaching, we talk about strategies and tips for coaching, but we don't do enough of talking about what we actually deliver and how we educate coaches across the globe on our online platform. We're going to talk about Coachology. We sure and share this word a lot. Coachology, we do Coachology in Practice, which is a newsletter series on LinkedIn and Substack. And we're doing Coachology in 20 every Monday now, where we're doing live coaching concepts within 20 minutes. And we use this word a lot embedded within our online hub. But essentially, I want to talk about Coachology in more depth and how it's more than just a word, it's actually a learning experience that we've integrated into our educational online coaching school here at Coaching Minds. So if you are tuned in, one more recognition, let's do some celebrations. It is International Day of Education 2026. So let's celebrate and acknowledge those that are teaching us around the world. And we have the beauty of technology now. We can learn anything we want just at a fingertip. If there's something we don't know, we can do a Google search. We can ask ChatGPT now or DeepSeek or whatever AI software we use. There's so much access to education these days, which is incredible. So let's celebrate our learning. Let's celebrate everybody that's out there teaching and helping people grow around the world. As I mentioned, I just want to reiterate our mission. You can see it scrolls across the screen in every session that we do. We're on a mission to make coaching affordable and accessible across the globe. And I want to share with you today in this short presentation how we do that, how we make our educational experience, the Coachology experience for our coaches at Coaching Minds and anybody that joins us a little bit different and a little bit more interactive. So that's what going to be the focus of today, but keeping this in mind that our mission is to make coaching affordable and accessible across the globe. I can see Adele is joining in with the celebrations. I can see we're getting lots of people tuned in. So if you do have any questions, comments about what we do at Coaching Minds, how we do things differently as I go through this presentation, please just drop your questions in the comments box. I'll bring your thoughts into this space and I'll also answer any questions that you have as well. So that is our mission. I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure you know that is what we do. But equally, although we're on a mission to make coaching affordable and accessible, we don't just want to put stuff out there, to educate people out there. We want to keep that high standard. So whilst we drop the cost and we're making coaching affordable, we don't want to drop the standard of our coaching profession. And we actually hold 2 EQAs, so 2 accreditations with the European Mentoring and Coaching Council, the EMCC, both at practitioner level 5 and senior practitioner level 7. And the reason why we are on this mission is because we want to uphold these standards set by the European Mentoring and Coaching Council and the EMCC Global Code of Ethics. But what we found was a lot of coaches that aren't going down the route of certification and accreditation, one of their biggest barriers was extensive costs for EMCC accredited courses or ICF accredited courses. They didn't have thousands of pounds to invest and go down the right route. And with us being a non-regulated profession, lots of people would choose to go down the other route, to call themselves a coach, doing maybe a $7 to $20 course on Udemy, then a little bit coaching skills, and trying to grow their business that way. So when we did our research, when we first set up Coaching Minds in 2020, we were looking at what the barriers were to entry for coaches to take up proper qualifications within the coaching profession. And this is why we set out on our mission to make coaching affordable and accessible. But I just want to note that we are keeping the standards high, and everything we do is at a accredited and professional level. I also mentioned we lower the costs. So we have kept our costs to an absolute minimum so people can enter our coaching profession. And those coaches that are practicing, that haven't gone through a formal route of qualification, they can come to us and it is affordable. So our costs, they're £37 a month or $52 a month, depending where you are. This is not a sales pitch. I'm not going to go into detail. I'm just letting you know that we have significantly lowered the costs for coaches to enter the route of certification and accreditation. So it's £37 a month or $53 a month for a minimum of 12 months. So I just want to put that out there as well. But that still is a very, very low cost to access what we have to offer here at Coaching Minds. And next thing, so we talked about the professional standards. We're keeping the standards there. We're lowering the cost to allow people to go down the certification and accreditation route. But the other thing, and I think this is what makes us unique and that we don't talk enough about, and I'm going to talk more about this today, is that we've built an online coaching school that is built on these 5 core values. And we've built a community that exists around this. We are not here, the coaching industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You hear lots of coaches hyping about the high costs they charge, the money that they're making. Some of it's true, some of it's not true. But we're not about that here at Coaching Minds. We are about looking at the skills of coaching, professional coaching, and looking at how we can use these skills to make a true impact to the world, to give back to those that really need it, and not just see coaching as a luxury that only those with a lot of money can afford, but how do we bring it in to really help in these difficult times right now around the world to give people the support they need. And the 5 values that we've built everything here on at Coaching Minds on is, first of all, impact. We want to make a huge impact with our coaching skills, with our profession, with our school around the globe. We want that impact to be inspiring. We want our coaches to feel inspired, to be inspired, and to pass that energy on to their clients, to their groups, to their courses, to everything they're doing with regards to their coaching practice. We also built it around being supportive. One thing that I love at Coaching Minds, and anybody who's in our Coaching Minds community, I'm sure you will agree in the comments box below, is how supportive our community is. The support and the collaboration that we see and witness between our coaches is absolutely incredible. And that leads us on to not just being supportive, but also being helpful, putting ourselves out to go out and help each other, not just support each other with what we're working on, and to also look at how we collaborate. We've created a really great collaborative community, which I believe makes us quite unique at Coaching Minds. So I can see a couple of comments coming in. So Laura's saying, that's amazing to find a company like Coaching Minds that offers so much quality and it's affordable. Thank you so much for that, Laura. I really appreciate it. And Donna, great to see you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, Donna, Adele, Laura, everybody who's tuned in for being part of our mission to make coaching affordable and accessible across the globe. So we keep the standards at a high level with the European Mentoring Coaching Council. We drop the costs, and we also built our school on core values of being impactful, inspiring, supportive, helpful, and collaborative. And we actually go deeper into these values, and I will explain to you how we've embedded them into the culture here at Coaching Minds to make it an interactive experience and to really help our coaches feel that reward and experience by living these values as part of their coaching. And I mentioned the community. We have a global community. We've got coaches from around the world on our program. And the reason why I think community is a huge part is that education, growing, training, learning, it doesn't just sit in the classroom. It's thinking about what we give between those sessions, between the online lessons. You see a lot of courses online now. It's just a series of videos that you work through. You get your certificate at the end. But there's more to education, more to learning than that. There's the practical aspects that a lot of courses are missing, how we bring coaches together to practice their coaching. We do a lot of that at Coaching Minds, but also how they connect with each other outside of that classroom, outside of those Zoom sessions, outside of those videos, to grow and learn together as a community. There's so much collective wisdom that can be brought and shared, and so much different perspectives and experience and education that can be brought together by a community. So we've built our online platform to really cater for an online and powerful community that creates really great connections with those and deeper connections with those that are aligned with us. So I can see some comments coming in. Donna is saying that Coaching Minds is extremely supportive, empowering, and ethical. Thank you so much for the kind words, Donna. I really appreciate that. And I hope that is what we're putting out there. It's great to see. I feel that myself. And I'm sure a lot of our coaches will agree as well. Adele's saying the values makes the community. They really do. And I'm going to explore more how we actually embed them in just a moment. And Donna saying what I love is that you inspire us to share ideas and perspectives with one another. Thank you for that point, because that's what we want to do. You guys have so much wisdom, so much experience. You have so much learning that you can bring and share with each other. And it's that shared learning, that shared education, which really is the heart and true value of bringing people together and learning and growing. Sometimes that is, and I think the majority of the time, that is more valuable than just a series of videos. So it's all about how we bring people together, how we share learning, and collectively move forward together and grow as an organization, as individuals, as teams, and as a profession. This community aspect is really key. And we've got simple things in our platform, like you being able to comment, engage, like you see on social media, to private message each other, to create collaboration projects. So we've got all the functionalities in our platform that allow our coaches to really connect and get to learn and grow with each other. Adele is saying that the practical aspect and the connections that is formed builds and grows our education. It really does. It really does. And I think the important point that I want to emphasize here is that education and coaching and training happens more outside the classroom than it does within the classroom. You just get the key concepts from the classroom, the theories, the ideas, the tools, but then you need to take that away and put it into practice. And if you don't have a community that's going to support you and help you with that, you're going to struggle. So community is a big aspect of our education here at Coaching Minds. But we even go a little bit further than that. There's a big talk, and I'm sorry you can't see this very well. So I'm actually going to just change the little layout here so I can zoom that in. So hopefully that's a little bit better for the audience today. But we go a little bit deeper in just a case of messages and comments and posts. We really have structured and used AI, the power of AI, to look at how we can bring the right people together within our community, or those that are more aligned or have similar interests and similarities going forward, to connect together. So when you set up a profile in our Coaching Minds Hub as one of our coaches or one of the clients looking for a coach, all the data you put in there is linked to a bit of AI, and it will help you when you're looking and browsing and you see somebody comment or post, you find them quite interesting. You can click on the profile and you can ask to see similarities. And what our hub does is it looks at what, let's say, for example, Donna or Adele, it pulls up what they've got in their profile, what I've got in my profile, and it'll match and it'll tell us a little bit about our similarities to see if we want to spark a conversation, what we could work on, what we could collaborate on. So you can see here my similarities with Adele, who is our program director and is tuned in today as well. You can see that we're both committed to making coaching affordable and accessible worldwide, prioritizing impact, vision, and mission over profit. Adele shares your passion for collaboration, lasting meaningful change through coaching and recruiting service-driven coaches to join that mission. And I'm really good that that says that. It shows that myself and Adele, as directors at Coaching Minds, are aligned, and it shows those similarities. But that is not just to show what we do at Coaching Minds. This is the value and the functionality that our coaches have. So when the new coaches are joining and they want to look at who they want to connect, how they want to grow the network, they can click on a few of our members or coaches in there, and they can see the similarities based on the input in the profiles. And it also allows us to link and connect on our professional interests as well. As you can see there, equality, diversity, inclusion, EDI, business strategy, legal and ethics, mental health, artificial intelligence, leadership, social responsibility. You can put these into your profile, and if in our hub, if you were to click one of those, say you clicked EDI, that will show you all the coaches that are interested in that topic for you to spark conversations and deeper your connections and discussions around that professional interest. Because also, as an educational institute, as a coaching school, it's not just about us wanting to teach you coaching and the tools and tips. We want to go a bit further. We need to look and bring in our professional interests. We need to connect coaches that have deeper niche areas or specific areas of interest to connect at a deeper level. This is where collaborative projects are born. This is where deeper connections are made. And the last one on there is location. And this is an option. You don't have to put your location in, but if you do put your location in, you'll be able to find coaches at Coaching Minds that are close to you. If you want to meet up for a coffee, have a bit of a chat, it's there for you as a functionality as well. So we're really looking to go deeper and really connect our coaches and not just have a space where you can post, comment, and message each other, but actually think about the strategic partnerships that you want to build with coaches, the collaborative projects you want to launch with coaches as well. And even if it's just a virtual coffee and a chat over one of your professional interests, it's all there, and we're building this to facilitate a community. And this all forms part of the educational and learning experience behind Coachology. So what is Coachology? Now, if we were to sum this word, we use it a lot. It's not just a catchy word. I really love the word Coachology. I think it's got a bit of a ring to it. But it's not just a word that we're throwing around as part of a brand. There's been a lot of thinking and thought going on behind this. And everything that I've shared forms part of that Coachology. But if I was to share it in a nutshell, it is the interactive and rewarding experience of receiving, learning, and engaging in the magic of coaching. And I'm sure all the coaches that are watching on the replay, all the coaches that are tuned in right now, coaching, when used effectively, when used powerfully, feels like magic. I'm sure some of us can think of a coaching session that we've been in when we haven't thought about something in a particular way. The coach asks a question and we get that aha moment. It's like, wow, why have I never thought of that? Why have I not seen this challenge, this problem, or this goal from that perspective? And it helps us move forward. And what Coachology is, it's not just about that coaching in that space, but it's how we engage our coaches together. It's everything that I shared about. It's that interactive and rewarding experience of receiving, learning, and engaging in the magic of coaching. And we call all the coaches at Coaching Minds coachologists. Even if you're a client, remember, if you're receiving coaching, you're a coachologist. If you're given coaching, you're a coachologist. We like to call anybody that is studying coaching through an interactive and rewarding way a coachologist here at Coaching Minds. I can see some more comments coming in, so I'm just going to bring a few. I don't want to go over the 30 minutes today, so I will bring what I can into this space. It does say in the practical aspect and the connections that is formed builds and grows our education. It really does. And the purpose of today is that it's not just about an online series of lessons. It's not just about getting on a Zoom call and having a few seminars and a few workshops. It's the education that happens outside of that. What we're thinking about here, which reminds us how we use AI. Now, I have a strong opinion on AI. I don't believe there's such thing as AI coaches and that AI can coach us. But what I see is the power, what we can use AI, like we have here at Coaching Minds in our school, and how we encourage and educate our coaches to use AI to really assist us in making a bigger impact. AI should essentially take away all the stuff we don't want to do as a coach, all the admin, so we can focus more on giving that human connection and pay our full attention to our one-to-one coaching or group coaching as well. So that is Coachology in a nutshell. And it's not just about bringing that community and bringing connections. We need to look at the reward and interactive side of this as well. So what have we done at Coaching Minds that makes us quite unique as a coaching school? Well, the first thing is we want to create momentum. Another thing that we found before we set up Coaching Minds in 2020 was that a large majority of those that sign up to programs, sign up to online courses, especially at the low cost that we are charging. You know, if you're investing thousands, you have thousands to invest, then of course it's going to be easy for you to push through and to go through and complete those courses. But those cheaper courses, the enrollment rate was really high, but the actual completion of the course cost was really low. So with us having a mission to make coaching affordable and accessible across the globe, it's not just enough for us to bring down the costs, because you can subscribe to us monthly, but then you might forget about us, you might drop out. So how do we then think about the momentum that we create for you in your learning experience? So one thing we've embedded into our online school and our platform is daily streaks. So every time you come in, you get a daily streak. You can see how many days you've hit, how many days you've missed. And every time you hit a certain milestone, you'll get a little emoji that follows you around our platform. And you also earn a badge that sits on your profile. And you can see this is mine. I've got a 294-day streak. It's been 294 days since we embedded this into our online platform. And I'm working towards the next one, which is the last, is the crown, which is 365 days. You will get it at different milestones. And the purpose of this is to give momentum, just to give you a little bit of a reward, to remind you that we're here to come in, to study, to work through your course, to work through your essays, to work through the online study, to connect in seminars, to keep that momentum so you complete our course and our programs and get your certifications and diplomas to then take into your coaching practice. So the momentum, the daily streaks, the badges, and the little milestones, the little pop-ups that we have are there to motivate and keep momentum for our coaches. Go back to the comments now. So Donna is saying, for me, this means studying best practices and really holding the clients at the center of all that we do and aim to support. And I love that, Donna. And I think a lot of our coaches do that. And this is another part of that education, is keeping clients. At the end of the day, it's the impact that we're making. It's the clients that are important to our education. And that's why I started off with talking about the professional standards, ethics. And when I talk about ethics, people think, you're just trying to tell people what to do, trying to keep people right. But ethics isn't always about right and wrong in terms of having a set of rules and being authoritative in that area. Ethics is about protecting clients, protecting ourselves as coaches. And that's the motivation and drive. It's why I talk a lot about ethics, is because we have clients at the end of the coaching. So we're teaching coaches then going on and coaching clients. And it's important that there's levels of protection there for clients and the coaches themselves. So thank you for bringing that into the space, Donna. I really, really appreciate it. So that's how we build momentum. We keep the costs low, but we need to keep the momentum so you complete our programs. What else? Acknowledgement. Now, we talked about Coachology being interacting and rewarding. So we built in a little badge system that you earn certain badges for certain tasks and little things that you do throughout our program. So two that I put as example from the many we've got in there is every time you get a streak, I mentioned you get a badge. So you can see the 60-day streak badge there. But also when you complete modules, it will give you a little pop-up saying you've earned this badge. Module 6 has been completed. So everything you're doing, everywhere that you interact, everywhere that you engage, you can earn badges throughout our program. And this again is to keep that momentum going, to keep you motivated, to keep you wanting to complete our programs. Because as I mentioned, when we did our research before we set up in 2020, one of the biggest problems or issues that those that were charging low cost programs were having is the completion rates. People would sign up happily, but they wouldn't work their way through. So we do daily streaks and we do badges to keep you motivated so you commit and get to that level 5 and that level 7 that we offer here at Coaching Minds. And beyond that is to keep you motivated into actually building your practice and creating it into a successful business. Because the one thing we have to remember as coaches is, even though we're working towards our qualifications, our level 5 or level 7, when we get that diploma in transformational coaching, that's not the end of our journey. It's actually the beginning. And this is where you step into the real world from being a student within coaching or a coachologist into actually needing to build your business or bring that, if you're bringing it into organizations or into your role, how do you bring that into that space? You are left out joking, but you can continue with us, remain with us as part of our community to help you with the business aspect of your coaching practice as well. So what else? Collaboration. So we got a lot of pushback when we first launched this, but now that we've started to explain how this actually works with our coaches, it's going down really, really well. So we built in a little bit of a gamification metrics and system into our online hub, just to make it interactive, just to encourage collaboration. But one thing we have to note is when things like gamification, when they're built into platforms, they're generally built on vanity metrics. So for example, on social media, you get your little pop-ups and your badges. You've probably seen it on Facebook. I think TikTok does it as well. I'm not a big fan of TikTok or user of TikTok, but you'll get badges because you've interacted, you've commented, you've engaged, okay, which is all around vanity metrics. We don't want to do that. So you don't earn recognitions or any gamification here around your comments and engagements with other people. That's not what this is about. What we've created is a kind of social reward system that sits within our online hub. So every time you come on and you do a course, one of the lessons on a course, you interact, you engage, that goes towards your daily streak. And as well as getting a badge at certain milestones and as well as getting a tick on your daily streak, you also get something which we've called social points. As you can see there, I've got 1,420 points available to recognize others. And keywords, they recognize others. So these points aren't for you to spend on yourself. They're not a metric for you to say, yes, I've got 1,420 points. This is just a currency that you gather up for being an active member within our online school. And then what you can do is you can then convert that and give them to somebody else through recognition points, which is the key part underneath. So you've got these points just for learning and growing within our hub and our online school, but you can't spend them or do anything without giving it to somebody else. These mean nothing until they're given to somebody else. So let's say I'm going to use Donna as an example again, who's in the audience. Let's say I've been working with Donna on a project, a podcast or something like that, and she's really inspired me. She's been helpful. I found her supportive. I found her impactful. I found her collaborative. Again, those 5 values which we've built our community here on at Coaching Minds. I can then go and I can spend these social points to recognize Donna. And I can say, Donna, you were really collaborative in that project that we've just launched recently in our coach center, for example. And I send you a little message and a little recognition. And that will pop up. So you can see here, there's one for helpful, three for inspiring, one for supportive. And then down the line, we're going to build this into recognition boards, which allows us to see our most collaborative coaches and the most coaches that are really living the values that we've embedded into our online platform. So this is, again, it's an interactive way and a way of encouraging our coaches to not just connect, but to go a deeper level of collaborating and to reward those coaches that are really doing some wonderful work. It's breaking down that negative angle and perspective that a lot of us come from, that we're competing with each other. And the whole coaching industry is a competitive market. You can look at it that way, you will struggle, you will feel like you're drowning, you will isolate yourself. When you shift your perspective to a more collaborative approach and how you can work and learn and grow together on projects together as coaches, then you're going to start to see how you can succeed in your coaching practice. And we've built this in at the start. So when you're connecting, growing, learning with our coaches here at Coaching Minds, you're starting to think about that collaborative approach as you're building your coaching practice. So that is our social recognition points in a way of bringing our coaches together to collaborate. The other thing that makes us quite unique in terms of our learning experience, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm coming up to the 30 minutes. I've focused on the important points that makes our learning experience a little bit different here at Coaching Minds, is what we call AI coaching rooms. And essentially, in a nutshell, an AI coaching room is what our coaches can build on completion of their level 5 transformational coaching diploma. And essentially, they have all the features that I've just talked about. They have the ability to build in daily streaks, to build in badges. They can essentially build their own version of community for their clients and take this whole philosophy and ideology of how do they create a space of learning between their coaching sessions with their individuals. How do they bring people together working towards a similar goal, a similar challenge, and learn and teach them and bring them together to connect between sessions. They can build online courses if they'd like. They can host podcasts if they like. They can have ebooks. They can have a community. Every functionality that we have, it's an extension of the functionalities that we have at Coaching Minds into what we call an AI coaching room. But I'm going to talk more about that later on in a different session. I can see some comments coming through here. So Adele is saying, given recognition to coaches further builds growth, collaboration, and education. We learn from others too. And we do learn from others, Adele. I think that's really important. And I think sometimes we don't take that moment to step back and acknowledge and just to say thank you to those that have given us guidance, that have given us help and given us support. You know, I always say, please don't give recognition points to us as supervisors at Coaching Minds because that's our role. And we don't want to create this where everybody's sucking up to the teacher and giving great points because because they want to score brownie points with us as supervisors. It's not about that. It's about our coaches supporting one another. Our coaches having that perspective and that eye to say, this person stopped. They went out their way today and they've really helped me. I just want to give them a small little thank you, that small little token of appreciation to let them know that they've made a difference in my life. They've helped me with uncover this project. They've helped me with my marketing and I've gained a couple of clients from this. They've supported me when I was feeling let down and lost my motivation in my coaching practice. So sometimes we can forget to reward, and it's not always, reward is not the right word. It's showing appreciation. It's a small token of appreciation of what we've built in here to keep that momentum going. Because collaboratively, it can be very isolating. It can be very lonely as a coach starting out on your coaching practice. If you're just going and doing a series of online lessons, getting your certificate, and jumping out into the world of coaching in a saturated market, pretty saturated market, you're going to struggle. It's going to be difficult for you to swim. But where you've got a community that is supporting and helping you and is recognizing the great work you're doing at different stages and what you do, that's powerful. As you mentioned there, Del, it's empowering, it's inspiring, and it's there. And this is what we built at Coaching Minds. And finally, on our mission to make coaching affordable and accessible across the globe, we understand that some people just want to test the waters. They just want to know what coaching is all about. Some people might just like to learn through books and not go through a formal qualification. And maybe they're still sitting on the fence. So what we've done is we've actually converted the whole program that we've got into a coach educational book series that is available for a very small cost of £12.97 per book on Amazon internationally. We don't make money on this. Amazon make the majority of the month. I think we make about £1 something on these books. But again, it's not about cash for us. It's about making a difference. It's making coaching affordable and accessible across the globe. And these books are built and designed to inspire people those that are interested, just to test the waters, to grab a book, read what coaching is about, learn coaching, and then if they think the coaching is right for them, they can take that opportunity and go down the certification and accreditation route. So these are a big and fundamental part of us making coaching affordable and accessible for the cost of £12.97. In the UK, that's 2 coffees. The cost of 2 coffees, you can grab yourself a book and learn about coaching without spending and jumping in to spend thousands of pounds or a monthly subscription with us here at a minimal cost at Coaching Minds for coaching qualifications. Donna is saying here, I'm just going to bring in some comments. We're coming to 30 minutes, which is fantastic. It's going to incorporate a gratitude wall for all members of staff in the school, from cleaners to leadership. This is very much aligned to this, and I love that. Well done on creating that in the school that you were teaching in with Donna. I think it's really important. And, you know, that it's the culture that we're creating. We're taking these values that are really important for us and the values that we want our coaches to portray to the world, and we're actually putting them into practical value like you have there with the gratitude wall. And what we've done is really made it simple in our hub as well, because we did that in an organization that I work with. I've coached within a number of organizations, but sometimes it's that motivation to inspire people to put something on the gratitude wall. I don't know if you found similar stuck problems or obstacles with that. It's how do you motivate people to do that? I think at Coaching Minds, we've really tried to simplify that process. So it's easy. You can click on that profile, you can click recognize, you can choose your badge and simple short message, and it's there. And we want to keep inspiring people to do that, because I think it's what makes us really unique. And I think it's what really makes our community at Coaching Minds beautiful. It really is. When I see coaches recognizing each other, supporting each other, there's nothing better than that community spirit in an online school. And last but not least, again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. We've got a whole brand new team behind our Coach Center, which we're going to be sharing with you who they are very, very soon. But on our mission to make coaching affordable and accessible, it doesn't just stop with our coaches. It doesn't just stop with our community. We want to help make an impact through coaching. So we are partnering with non-profit organizations. We're looking at ways in which we can support those that are giving to the world in a humanitarian way, giving their time and their efforts into helping support social causes or humanitarian causes around the world. And we are inspiring our coaches to pick up pro bono work. And this is not to replace your whole coaching practice with pro bono, but it's a way of you giving back to the world with the skills that you've honed as a coach and that you've mastered as a coach. So it also helps with our coaches in training. So one thing that makes our organization or teaching quite unique is that you can gain clients on your route to your certification. You need 40 hours for our level 5, for example. And those 40 hours might be difficult for you to get as a new coach. So as you've worked through our ethics exam, you've gone through certain little requirements on your journey through our program, we can connect you with clients through our Coach Center, through the non-profit organizations that I've just mentioned. But we're going to do a whole presentation. We're going to have the Coach Center team as part of this, do a presentation later on in the year, so you can learn more about what we do. But this is about looking at the wider, it's exercising our social responsibility as an educational school, as an online coaching school, and how we make more of a social impact that's not focused on money. That is finding those that really need coaching, can really do and benefit from coaching, but don't have the means or the funds to access it. And we've got a whole host of coaches that are training and working towards accreditation to support with that. So that is our Coach Center. That is another way in which we are quite unique here at Coaching Minds. And that's everything that I have today. I've gone slightly over the time, but still under 35 minutes, which is great. But I'm going to take a couple of questions for a couple of minutes. If you do have any questions about anything that we do, it's a lot of information. But the purpose of today is to acknowledge International Day of Education, and to take this opportunity to talk to you as a coaching school that is on a mission to make coaching affordable and accessible, and how we try and make the learning experience and the education experience for our coaches very different to what's out there at the moment, using the power of AI, using the power of community, using the power of appreciation and collaboration. So if you do have any questions, drop them in the comments box. If you're watching the replay, I'll answer your questions on the replay. Please do drop them in the comments box as well. But I want to wish you all, again, a happy International Day of Education. Whether you're a teacher, whether you're a professor, whether you've got a title or not, it doesn't matter. Let's go and acknowledge and appreciate somebody today that teaches us something. It could be a parent, it could be a family member, it could be a brother, it could be a friend. It's not just about those that hold titles. It's about recognizing those that help us with our education. So I want to wish you all a wonderful weekend. Any questions that you've got, you can reach out, and looking forward to speaking to you all very soon. Thank you.